It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Trajan Wealth brings you this portion of the program, TRAJANwealth.com. Trajan Wealth for all your trusted local needs in retirement. Riley Nelson, tell me that my mind booted up from your playing days the couple of times somebody mentioned you went to Spain on your mission. Am I still right on that?
You got it. Tamales de cerdo y pollo. But tamales are 100% Mexicano.
Oh yeah.
They're not Spanish.
No. You're doing the paella. You're doing the tortilla de patata. You're doing all that stuff this time of year. So
yeah, you got it.
Well,
you got it.
Happy holidays, Riley. Thanks for joining us on the program here. What's the Nelson family tradition that like kind of marks like the thing your kids can't miss and stuff that you guys do that they get the boys excited and everybody excited for this time of year?
Yeah, we're still kind of working that as our kids are small and don't have the constitution. But we're heading up tomorrow. So this will be 3 years in a row for those up in northern Weber County, the Barker Park Live Nativity. Y'all ever been up that way? It's like it's right east of Weber High. Have you guys ever been to that?
Never been. No. I've done the Live Nativity in up at the Harvard Yale neighborhood in Salt Lake. That was a pretty cool one too. But is it a big deal?
So this one I haven't been to Harvard Yale, but each wise man had their own camel. Roman soldiers are riding in on real horses.
Oh, boy.
We go because it has the best complement of animals. They've got a stable, half a dozen sheep, 3 or 4 goats. You know, they like Mary literally rides in on an actual donkey. They have every animal, but it's not just like one and it's there for show. Like they're riding on these things. So it's quite the production, and that's really it starts. They do it 4 days leading up to Christmas Eve. So we're catching the last performance tomorrow on the 23rd, and that's our can't miss at least of the last 3 years. All
right, so I'm looking at it here. I just found it. So is there you just walk up? It's free to get in? Yeah, I mean,
come on. It's free. It's a community event. They got Barker Park's a big old park up there. There's a plaque there. Supposedly it wasn't that long ago. I think it was only a couple generations ago. There was a big farming community or big farming family. The Barkers donated the land to the city, and they built a bing amphitheater in it. And yeah, they do a live nativity to the nines. It's pretty sweet.
Well, I'm gonna sock that one away, and if my kids are if my kids are misbehaving, we're taking the ride up to North Ogden, and we're gonna make this thing happen, and I'm gonna force the older kids to participate. That's what we do. Now it's just punishing the older kids when they're with
any chance you get.
With family traditions. Be like, oh, you're going.
When you're a teenager, you'll understand. When you have teenagers, you'll understand.
You're going. Get in the car. All right. Yeah. No, you can't drive either. Nope. You can't drive separately. Nope. You're hanging out with us. Riley, thanks for coming on the program. We're excited to announce, of course, that the news that everybody's been hearing all day today, but BYU and Notre Dame sign up for a shock home and home that we didn't see coming. Like, we were trying to figure out last week, how is BYU going to pull this off? Who even has an open date on the 12th of September? Who even has an open date on the 12th who will come to Provo? In our wildest dreams, we wouldn't have said Notre Dame.
The last team I thought would consider it.
But it's a big one. I mean, and I was saying, too, I think they did it a little bit to poke the eye of USC, and BYU's the benefactor of that because, you know, Notre Dame was having a hard time ever renewing this relationship and having a home and home ever with BYU. But your thoughts initially, because I think you were the last quarterback to play in South Bend. At least you were one of the last to play in South Bend there in that 2012-2013 series.
Yeah, except I wasn't 2013. 2012 was my last. So Taysom went in there in 2013 in what everybody says was one of the coldest games.
Yes, I was there. I can confirm that.
Yeah, but no, like I was about, like, when I first heard about it, I didn't see any details. I'm like, yeah, right, I'll believe it when I see it, assuming that we go to South Bend next year, and then they're supposedly supposed to come back in 2034, and they never show up. Yeah, and they never show up because that's been their MO for the last 25 years. But I was pumped to see that they're coming to Provo next year. And you say a little bit of poking the eye of USC, but I also think, like, you know, for all the faults the playoff has, like, I think BYU being the first team out and Notre Dame being the second team out on the outside looking in of these playoffs, I think this is like Notre Dame realized. Look, I was just talking about this with Notre Dame, or about Notre Dame with some buddies. Notre Dame used to, like, when they would beat Boston College, that was a good win. And, like, when they beat, or even USC, that was always a game that they could hang their hat on. Well, a lot of their traditional kind of rivalries or the teams that they kind of fill up half their schedule and the other half they rotate, a lot of those programs have not kept up to the level that they need to be for Notre Dame to accomplish their goals. And so I think they're looking for new partners to be able to do that, and BYU's the benefactor. The other one, and I say this 100% tongue-in-cheek, but I wonder, who over at Notre Dame hated Tom so much that they'd never give him the satisfaction of ever coming over. Little feather in the cap for Brian to finally get it done. I think two ADs have been unsuccessful in getting the Irish into Provo, and Brian in his first year strikes the deal. So I thought that was pretty cool for Santiago.
Yeah, it is. It's great for BYU, and it's great for Notre Dame too, because it adds a quality opponent to their schedule. That honestly, BYU would have been a better win this year than USC, and give BYU credit for that. But you had the Notre Dame experience as a player. What was it like, and what would set it apart? Because this is an opportunity for these players that are going to have in 2027 to go to South Bend, and of course they'll get a chance to host Notre Dame next season.
Yeah, so unfortunately, and by the way, I wouldn't change this. I only say unfortunately because, now a lot of fans want to – I get asked that question a lot, and of course, I'm on with you guys, and other folks are always asking me, what was this like? What was that like? I played in some of the Cathedral College football, right? Like Florida State and Texas and Notre Dame and all these, and but I really was. But I was a leader on a lot of those teams. I was a starter in a lot of those games, and I really did take the approach that, like, this is a business trip. So like And at the time, I think Bronco's changed now, but Bronco was not into the, like, pull the bus up to the stadium and go around and take pictures and this and that. Like, we flew in, we went to the hotel, we had our meetings, we reviewed our game, did everything there, got up, eat, review, head to the stadium, like, warm up, play the game. And so I never saw Touchdown Jesus. I don't know. All I remember is, like, driving in the middle of nowhere, and then someone in the front of the bus was like, there it is over there. I was like, wow, this is crazy in the middle of nowhere. But so I didn't take in a lot of the majesty. I didn't grow up as a Notre Dame fan. I didn't necessarily, while I watched the movie Rudy, I mean, obviously you had to as a kid growing up playing football. I didn't necessarily care for it. So, like, I was more of like a longest yard guy or like a water boy guy. That tells you a little bit more about my sensibilities.
Riley, we're on the same page there.
Yeah, you class
no shame in that.
You class it up just like us. It's good.
Exactly. Anyway, so and then JJ, to answer your question, what I'm left with is, like, we went in there with a really good team, an all-time defense and an offense that was trying to do our best, and we took number 3 Notre Dame, who eventually finished number 2 and lost to Alabama in the national championship. Like, we took them all the way down to the wire, and so all I'm left with is a bunch of, oh man, if only I would have X, Y, and Z. That we could have had them. So it's just a bunch of regrets and what ifs.
The curse of every college football player, right?
Exactly, but it was a great opportunity to be able to play in it, and I mean, it makes for all these years later, these 15-something years later, it makes you're sitting around and after a golf round or during a golf round or whatever, and you get to say that you played in South Bend and against one of their better teams, and so that's pretty fun.
Well, and I was up in the press box in South Bend for that 2012 game, and yeah, a person growing up loving football and just, like, crossing your fingers that one day you could even just make some kind of a trip like that to be working at the stadium. So the way it works is like that. At least in those days, I say 13 years ago at this point, when the press box is basically all mixed. It's like all their donors, everybody. They don't have, like, the suites nearly, or at least they didn't have them all parsed out. Those are, like, on the other side of the stadium. But you had a lot of, like, Nick Faldo was in the press box with us, like a couple rows down. Bon Jovi's kid was on the team, I think, at that point, or at least he was, like, a big donor at that point, and so he was in the booth, and like, everybody was there, and they're all mixed with the media, and so you have all these fans, like, these lifetime fans who are all cheering inside the press room, which is already awkward because we're told not to even, like, make a peep in these press rooms normally. And when Cody Hoffman's coming across the field, the collective gasp that the Irish had. It was almost like they knew, like, these guys can't come in and beat us. That was like the vibe. And I think it ended, was it 17-14?
Yeah, it was close.
17-14, yeah.
It was, but the environment was cool. And it was, I took in all of that. And I still have, all my stuff that I bought at that game, like, the program and all that stuff. And it's a fun thing to think. But from a historical standpoint is one thing. From the fact that you're trying to carve out your team's resume for 2026, this is a great start for Kalani and his guys because you add another big name to that. You have to play big games now. I think the College Football Playoff Committee, they at least say they want to see you sign yourself up for those, and that's a good start for them.
Well, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, we're not going to get these anymore because Texas didn't get in." Well, let's not forget that Texas. I'm forgetting who their bad losses were.
Florida.
Kentucky
They lost to Florida.
Oh yeah,
they
Florida.
struggled with Kentucky.
A sub 500. That's right. Kentucky took them to overtime, but don't lose 3 games, boys. That game would have been fine had they not dropped 2 in conference. And by the way, 2 in conference to non-conference contenders. So it's great that you were able to come back and beat A&M, but look, the college football playoff demands that you play well through each phase of the season in September, October, and November. You can't just come up with one big win in November. Let's put the shoe on the other foot. Let's say they lose those same 2 middle games in the season, Florida and whoever else, and whoever else they lost to. Was it who did they lose to? Or Bama? Yeah, Bama beat them.
Yeah.
So they lose anyway. And let's flop the Ohio State loss with the Texas A&M win. They win Ohio State, but then they lose to Texas A&M. Are they still getting in? No, they're not still getting in because they're 3 losses. So everyone was saying that was going to hurt these these out of conference or preseason or whatever you want to call them matchups. I'm glad to see that early indications as schedules begin to roll out, it hasn't in that 2 of the marquee brands in college football and 2 contenders for the playoffs have scheduled a matchup out the gate for 2026.
Riley, what's your thoughts on bowl games nowadays? Do you believe, someone who's loved college football for a long, long time and the tradition of it, do you believe that the college football playoff has damaged the need for bowl games or the excitement around bowl games, or do you still see a lot of value in them?
Well, you're asking a little bit the wrong guy because I can't tell you the casual fan. I'm a college football junkie, so I'm watching no matter what. The Potato Bowl today for me had a bunch of intrigue, right? I wanted to see how these future conference opponents, one coming down from a P4, maybe that might be a little bit of a controversial, and then Utah State kind of coming up from a G5 into wherever people want to classify the new Pac-12. But these are 2 conference opponents meeting in a bowl game. So especially for me and with Coach Mendenhall, I want to see how big is the gap that he has to close in his personnel. I think everybody knew, and Bronco first among them, knows that Utah State has to improve their roster. Washington State's kind of coming down from taking some hit, wandering in the wilderness for a couple of years in the 2-team Pac-12 or whatever. So how big is that gap still? And we were able to see, judging off the first half, you're like, geez, Utah State got a lot of work to do in Washington State might dog the conference.
Riley, let me interrupt you just for a second here because I'm going to have our producer Alex call you back. You turned into a little bit of a robot there. No, your personality didn't.
You did a phone connection issue.
It was just it was.
I want to get his take on the Pop Tarts Bowl as well, but just overall bowl is we were watching that bowl game. It was
I failed to find
the skeleton crew. It's the problem isn't it's. Teams aren't necessarily able to take their best players. There's coaching staffs that aren't. There's head coaches aren't there anymore. There's just so much, it's hard to get into these bowl games. Definitely the casual thing, but I guess if the bowl games are making money, they're getting like Riley's saying, we'll watch any of them. We'll watch any.
Yeah, and I failed to find a little bit of the intrigue that Riley did. Obviously, the connection with with Bronco and his staff, and I was interested to see how they're going to show up. But the teams got so chippy at the end. Then you're like, oh, they did take this kind of seriously. Sorry, Riley, we had to reconnect you there so we could get a decent connection. But what about the Pop Tarts Bowl? BYU's playing in this Pop Tarts Bowl. That one has intrigue, obviously, for BYU fans, but it's always a mixed bag. I never know what you're going to get with these teams. Is it just enough to say, well, Kalani gets his guys ready for games, or is there a feeling of letdown because you got stiffed on the ability to be able to get in the college football playoff?
No, I think Look, like I don't. He hasn't declared anything, but like my guess is L.J. Martin's going. He was Offensive Player of the Year as a running back. You've only got so many carries left in you, dude. He wants to put it out on tape. He wants another shot of putting it out on tape that like this dude should play, and he should be one of the first running backs off the board. The same thing for like Jack Kelly, right? And some of these other guys, and I'm sure on Georgia Tech side of the football, you've got guys like that they want one more opportunity to put it on tape, and especially exclamation point. If Bowles can continue to produce matchups like BYU and Georgia Tech, I mean, obviously that was a sweet BYU Notre Dame, but BYU Georgia Tech, then players were going to want to continue playing. But one of the tough things, and look, when you get down to the six and sixes versus 6 and 6s, those are a little bit tougher to watch, but I'm pretty sure they still draw and they can still sell ads for them. So if no one's watching that, I don't know that any of us should care. But if you look at the top half of bowls, I think those are still going to garner national interest. And if you look lower down, I still think the regional, like me, explaining that for my interest in the Potato Bowl, right? I might be one of only a couple 100,000, but that still matters to a couple 100,000 people. And then as you get, obviously you got the playoff, and then that next year of bowls, I think are still going to draw nationally because the brand of the sport is that strong.
Riley Nelson, former BYU quarterback, of course, and somebody we love having on the program and love getting his take on all these things. We hope you guys have fun in the holidays. Be safe, Riley. Say hi to your family for us and have fun out there with all those little kids, man. It's going to be an awesome one. Thanks for joining us.
Will do. Love it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Riley.
There you go, Riley Nelson.